You're a virgin.
Yeah, I've never done this.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Are you kidding? Take a sip.
Oh my God.
Are you kidding me?
No. And I do need to be, the good thing about being a virgin is my first time, so I'm excited and I'm not jaded at all. It's just going to be good because it's new and it's with you, so it's going to be great. You're my first.
Wow. That speaks volumes, the fact that I'm your first.
Well, they always say you forget a lot of the ones in between, but you remember your first and you remember your, I don't know the last, but you don't know it's your last when it's your last, but
we have a lot of history, so the fact that I'm your first is interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not even going to do an intro because she doesn't need anything. One of my dearest friends who I haven't seen forever, but it doesn't mean we're not still connected.
That's right.
Amazing writer, director, potential podcaster.
Oh.
Freedom fighter, which I'm being told is the term, but I think you're a freedom fighter. Miss Julie Davis. Can you believe we're here?
I can't.
You've never been on a pod?
No.
Wow. First of all, you don't age.
I know. I can't believe you said that. I hate to admit this, but the first thing I thought of, not the first thing, but when you told me that we were going to do this podcast, one, I'm so new to all this that I thought, is it just audio? And if it's just audio, that's great because I don't have to worry about the fact that I'm 54 and Jamie hasn't really, the last time we worked together, I was 39, and that's a big difference, and he's going to be looking at how old I am. And then when you said, no, it's video, and I know the podcast is mostly video. I was looking at your podcast, and my first thought was, oh my God, I don't know if I can handle seeing myself, on camera, having aged so much. And of course, that's what actresses go through all the time. But, and I feel for them. I feel for them. But it's so silly. I'm ashamed to say that. But I also believe that you just have to be honest and like telling yourself. So I'm telling it myself that came into my mind. And I really hate that it did.
Do you know what I love? First of all, the first thing we said after that was, isn't that sad? That's where we are in a society. That you feel that you might be judged. And that's something that you said that women go through all the time. Which is so fucking sad.
Well, women have gone through this, though, forever.
Yeah.
The thing is that I know the biggest judge is myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is between me and me.
Yes.
And two, this is the only reason it's different now is because of the culture of filtering and Photoshop on steroids and creating people that don't even exist online who we think do exist and look a certain way has gone so... This has been moving this way forever. We both grew up in the 80s, 70s and 80s. Mm-hmm. And I still remember Cheryl Tiegs and Brooke Shields. And I remember those covers like Yesterday, Christy Brinkley. Those were stuff was still filtered then, right? But now it's like people they're having facelifts through Photoshop. These aren't even what they really look like. And we're just living in a false reality on that level, as far as women and aging. And I know it's for men too, like looking at men with muscles that don't exist. It has to be for you guys too, right? It's a false reality, and the plastic surgeons love it. The anti-aging industrial complex is thriving.
Wow, you just came up with an amazing term.
Yeah.
The anti-aging industrial complex. Wow. I gotta tell you, I just had an epiphany watching you. First of all, she's a virgin, folks. Does she seem like it? Boy, you get right on this bicycle and you're brilliant. Because this is why you're perfect, because you're not scared to share. That's what this whole platform is about. Being open. And I just had a hockey player here. And he cried. That I think maybe people can take a minute and realize, and peek behind the veil and go, okay, a lot of shit isn't what it used to be. I think that's what we're going through, is a mass of this veil peeking. And so it is a teeny bit easier now because everything is coming out as a lie.
Right.
And so, but yeah, for a while, I wouldn't have been able to do that 3 years ago. But now, since COVID, I would be able to do that.
Can I just say that I hadn't seen you for a while, and by the way, when we worked together, it was like that's what it's all about. Every day was like just a gift. You are such a professional. You are so humble, so hardworking. I don't want to cry, but everything that a director could ever dream of, and a writer. I mean, you are just what a pleasure, and such a good person. You're a good person.
Well, it starts with you. I love working with you.
But then I saw you do that comedy set
mm-hmm.
about 3 years ago, but maybe 2021 into the pandemic. And I hadn't seen you in a while. And oh my God, it was so cathartic to have you get up there, stand-up comedian, tell the truth, because so many comedians they just towed the line. They all went silent. I mean, Colbert, I mean, these late night talk show hosts, Kimmel, I mean, they towed the line. It was unbelievable what happened. It was so sad. And then you get up there in that parking lot, which you made. I remember you said, I can't believe it. I'm doing stand-up comedy in a parking lot of the Pineapple Hill Saloon. And it was everybody was so just like relieved to have someone tell the truth. You said something where I had to ask you this. You made a comment, you told a joke that night where you compared wearing a mask to wearing a condom with holes in it. Do you remember that?
No, it's kind of like that, but no. The joke is that the whole thing about the vax. And I said, you're going to get vaxxed, and the guy wants me to get vaxxed. And he says, well, I said, well, aren't you vaxxed? And he goes, yeah, but it won't work unless you do it.
Right.
So then I said, when have we ever done that? That's like me going, hey, bro, I'm about to have sex with this little shorty, but I'm going to need you to wear a condom.
Yes, that was...
Because we don't want to get her pregnant, okay? We both don't want herpes, so can you wipe your ass? Because I don't want chafing.
That was it.
I just took a shit. So can you wipe your ass?
That was it. I've been trying to remember that joke because I remember I was on the floor, and it's exactly how it was. It's exactly what it was. I'm having sex with her, but I need you to wear the condom so she doesn't get pregnant. What? I mean, that was a traumatic time. I got bullied in a Target in Santa Cruz by 3 women who...
Can I just jump in for a second? Because I have to practice my listening skills. You are a young Jewish female. Did you go to Vassar? Dartmouth, educated, New York, writer, director, producer, actress, auteur, was probably brought up very liberally and super open-minded.
Yes, very
and you do movies that you believe in, personal stories. And also from your perspective, you happen to be a female, which I don't, I never really understood everyone's PO until I saw Barbie. And then I understood, that's a great way to tell a POV. And you do it as well. It's like, when it works, right? Without people slamming down politics or identities. So you've done all this naturally. And that you go to just so people understand the background of this woman, okay? She is would be a super friend. You are a festival darling to Hollywood liberals. Do you agree? When you started.
Oh, I didn't even think in terms of Hollywood liberals. I didn't even know that was a term or that wasn't.
I know, but I'm saying is the way you are.
Yeah, people think.
They would take you up and put you in their little pocket.
Yes, and in fact, when the whole pandemic started and people...
I want to hear about the Target, but keep going.
Well, you'll like that.
So you go into
I'm going to get in trouble.
No, there's nothing...
No, what I'm about to say is going to get me in trouble. But you know what? This is the good thing about when your career is not happening for the moment. And I say for the moment because I don't believe anything's permanent. I can actually be honest and not have any fear of anything bad happening. So... Actually, I thought, you know what, thank God, because I was pitching a series that means the world to me. right before the pandemic. I was in the middle of it, going into, all Showtime and all those places and Amazon. And those are the two we had started with. And then the pandemic hit. And I thought, thank God if one of those had sold, if things were happening and my career was started again and one of those sold, I would have to be going along with all this. I wouldn't be able to speak out. So again, I keep saying I don't believe in God, but maybe God was saying, you know what, I'm not going to make this happen for you now because it's going to really cause problems for you when the pandemic comes. You're going to have to go along to get along, and that is going to kill you. So I had nothing to lose. And when all of that happened, people would come up to me, friends, people I've worked with, my agent, I remember on a phone call, and they just assumed that I hated Trump. They just assumed that I thought people who weren't vaccinated were the devil. They just assumed it because I'm an open-minded person. And I thought, did you guys not even think that maybe I don't agree with you? Like, do you really think? Like, it was so... I went to a dermatologist. I'll never forget this. And she started going on and on to me about, God, if Trump this and Trump that. And I'm thinking, I'm here, like, you're my... Why are you think that you can go on about this to me? I'm here as I'm a patient, and how do you even know I agree with you? The assumption was just incredible. And usually I would say, well, actually, I think his policies are really good. And I really like what he's doing, with starting all these black businesses. And do you know all the money he put into HBCs? And they're like, what's that? Historical Black College? And do you know about this? And do you know about that? And of course, they would just, they would freeze. And
you get a double bill. They'll double bill you for that.
And they doubled. The dermatologist, I think, did overbill me that day.
If it's not in Chatsworth, that dermatologist is going to triple bill you. Or Simi Valley.
And my husband would say, just be quiet. My parents especially. They would say, like, why are you causing trouble? And
expressing your opinion is causing trouble.
I'm saying, because I can't live being, okay, this is the thing. I have friends who do agree with me, and they'd say to me, it's not worth the trouble, we just nod our head. If we'd go out with friends, and half the friends at the table were liberal, and half the friends at the table had voted for Trump, or maybe didn't vote for Trump, but were agreeing with what his policies were, and so forth, the liberals would say all their stuff, and then the conservatives, they wouldn't disagree, they would just nod their head. They didn't want to get into it. And I remember a friend of mine said, don't out me. Don't out me. She said, I'm a Scientologist, and that is better than people knowing I voted for Trump.
Wow!
She goes, I will lose my students, I will lose my profession if you tell people don't out me.
Don't out her, but is she still your friend?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and I said, but you know what? If you don't, if everyone's silent, then this is going to continue. Like, people have to know that, the silent majority, right? That was a brilliant saying, the silent majority.